I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford.
Hey guys, it's Mike. Thanks for listening tonight on the Feels Like Home podcast. We are really, really excited to bring to you a couple that we're very excited about. Marshall and Jade Berry moved to Chillicothe just a couple of years ago, and you're going to hear this great story. Jade owns The Stack, which is a clothing store located in the Fort Collective right in the middle of downtown. And then Marshall works as an electrician with Bright Solutions. But the story is so much deeper than that and so much better than that. So I'm not going to bore you with a lot of stuff from me. We're going to let them tell the story because it's amazing. So we hope you enjoy it and, just sit back and relax and listen to this great story. We are super excited to have not one, but two stage stars in the house today.
Yes.
You knew I was going to say something, didn't you? All right, so let me backtrack. So Jade Berry and Marshall Berry are here. Jade of The Stack, Marshall of being Marshall, and Jade's other. No, I mean that jokingly, but so I actually met you first.
With that yes.
Yeah.
So I'm pointing to Marshall because this is radio, right? So
because nobody's seen you do that.
But I'm pointing to Marshall because I met Marshall first, and then I met Jade, and I met Marshall because I was desperate and I needed Bright Solutions help.
Yes.
And Marshall was one of the ones that helped me get through the 2019 Christmas season. So
true story.
Yes.
I'm still in your debt without a question. And of course, soon thereafter, Jade Berry was unleashed on Chillicothe.
Unleashed.
And now it is an unstoppable force that
I'm
cannot
sorry,
be stopped.
Don't apologize.
We are not.
We are
not.
We aren't either. I'm really not. I don't think she is.
I read your Facebook post. You're incredibly grateful to have a great wife,
Absolutely.
and I get
Good
it.
dude.
So,
Absolutely.
Good dude. I'll
so
keep
I
him.
wrote these down
Do it.
because I just knew shop owner Jade, but I got author and singer and worshiper and mom and wife and what did I miss? I just missed. Oh, star of stage. I already said that one. But do you sleep? What happens there?
I'm not sure. I run with the motto, you sleep when you're dead.
Marshall just finds
She
you
kind of
someplace
passes
back.
out,
Yeah, I literally just zonk. I really do hardcore believe you have one life to live, and
Absolutely.
there's somebody on their deathbed wishing they had done something, but it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
So you have to just, and I don't believe I can't truly tell my kids, live for your dreams, do your dreams, make sure you live your dream if I'm not living my dream in front of them.
Yep.
So I just try and make sure I do as much as I can in this life and bring them along.
And I didn't even mention, which I will get to, but the Life Ready program, which I think is such a great thing for our community. But we'll get to that. So to even backtrack a little further, you guys got here in 2019, correct?
Correct. August
And
8th.
the way that you got here is kind of a cool little story. And so I'd like you to tell that story. A lot of people may not know it. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I met my friend Shauna Shanks, also a Chillicothe native, 6 years ago now at a book writers conference. And then the following year, my book came out, and then her book came out 2 years after the conference. And she called me and asked me to do the music for her book launch, which I didn't even know she knew that I did music at that point. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. So I came. I was only here for 24 hours, and she gave me a tour of Chillicothe. And I was just I felt like I lived here my whole life. I really felt like a God pull at my heart. You should be here. This is where the work is at. You need to be here. And so I went home, and I actually didn't tell Marshall anything about that feeling for 6 weeks. I just kind of sat on it and prayed about it, and really just I'm not about to move my entire family without a surefire, I know that this is the thing. Well, we would sit and do devotion every morning. And so one day he came down and he's like, hey, I had this crazy dream that we moved to this hilly place. And I don't know where that is. And I'm like, well, let me tell you Let
tell
me
you
tell
about
you
the
where I
last
think
few
it
days.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you what I've been hiding from you for 6 weeks. And then he's like, okay, well, we're gonna go for a visit.
Gotta go check out
Gotta
this
go check
Chillicothe.
it out. Yeah. So we came, brought the kids, and he went on a ride along with our friend's husband and came back at like 2:30 in the morning. He's like, this is it. This is the place. And if anything could have tried to stop us from coming to Chillicothe, it was like coming at us. We had 2 house offers fall through. We had our backyard literally fell into the pond behind our house. Like everything that could have stopped us. And we were just not budging. Like we knew with everything in us that we were meant to be in Chillicothe. And it took us 2 years to get here. Yeah. And like literally as soon as we landed, it was like unleash everything that we were supposed to do.
So did we live up to the hype then? 'Cause,
Yes.
like,
Absolutely.
Yes, full on.
Well, I mean, I had a successful business. Everything was going great for her in Louisiana. So there's no like real reason to move.
Yeah.
And so the
we
draw
had just
when we
bought
came,
a brand new house.
it was a brand
like
new.
everything was no one our people thought we were crazy. Like most
Absolutely.
people, first of all, when you look up Chillicothe, it's like, oh, murderers.
You're right. The
Lots
first
of-
thing that comes up
Lots
is
of
that
murderers.
serial killer.
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's probably a lot of shots of me talking about it.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's really how you met Mike.
That's
Serial
really
killers
unfortunate.
and Mike Throne. Yeah, so it was crazy, and I knew that if I told him or tried to convince Marshall, that it would have been a different scenario. Like I really just felt like it had to be a surefire thing in him before I even threw any kind of influence on it. And he was sure, and like literally our kids, they fell in love with Chillicothe just like we did. And so it was like our hearts had been like uprooted from where we were in Louisiana. And it was almost like we were heartbroken because it was so slow. And the last year before we moved, I was like, all right, God, whatever. If it's not happening right now, what do I need to do? What am I learning in this season? And I kid you not, like I was like, all right, I'm gonna write an album. Fine, I'll write an album. Fine, I'll write a book. Fine. Like it was like I'm not wasting this time. And everything. Like his business was doing great. So it literally made no sense for us to leave. And we did anyway.
Matter of fact, when we left, we didn't even have an offer on our house. We just said, you know what? We know that this is right. And we literally landed here and in less than a month, had a full cash offer.
Yeah.
And so just
With no backyard.
With no backyard.
We had no
Because it
backyard.
had fallen
Issues.
into the pond.
Yeah, it was in the pond. So yeah, it was crazy.
So what was your business with? You were
Out
in
of electrical-
Louisiana, right?
correct.
Yeah, so you had
out of electrical business.
Okay.
Yeah, it was New Light Electric out
Yeah.
there.
And were you able to find something pretty quickly once you got here?
So that's the funny story too. When we were praying about coming up here, because the Shanks, Shauna and Micah, have a container house that they said, we were wanting to kind of move into town. Our businesses are here, works here, but we love the container house. We don't, necessarily want to sell it. Would you be willing to rent it? And as we're praying about it, I get a notification on my watch about a job in Chillicothe
From Bright Solutions.
Solutions.
Dang.
And
Wow. Yeah.
I'm getting some chills now.
It was
man,
wild.
that's-
when we kind of just stopped, laughed, cried a little bit, and when I talked to him, it was immediate confirmation.
So I feel like you fit super well into the Bright Solutions vibe, like Casey and Erica and the other folks that are working
Yeah.
there. Like it's just
Yeah.
a really good vibe. So you probably felt that right away, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. So Case and I met at Paper City Coffee, kind of, hung out a little. We really didn't even talk about work for most of it. We just talked about life. Talked about our loves, our passions, and Jesus and all that, and it just immediately I knew that there's no denying that this is absolutely where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
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 We just kind of knew that whole, we just, for whatever reason, like I just really felt like our kids were meant to carry some torches here.
Absolutely.
And we've seen it like
Already.
wildfire. It's crazy.
That's amazing. I just backtrack just a second because, like, that is such a crazy change. And so, what were some of the things that you saw in Chillicothe that
I'm
was
going to stop you a second. It's a really big change, but it's a change from the deep south to the deep south of Ohio. Simple, easy.
Well,
Exactly the same.
what were some of the things that were affirming to you? Like you've mentioned some of them, but that first visit, like what were some of the things that you recognized and saw immediately that started, triggering all those emotions?
Oh,
or
honestly, the people.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
people
Gosh, that's a great answer.
Sold us fast because we literally felt like we knew every person that we came into contact with.
And we've
then
lived
by
in
the
a lot of
second time-
places.
Yeah. And by the second time, people were like, welcome home. Can't wait till you come home. Like, it was the weirdest, craziest thing. But the people
embraced us so fast.
Nailed it down.
And it was vice versa. It was easy to love the people here. And it's not always been like that for us. We lived a lot of years in California, and the scenery was great, but it was tough to live out there. And then Louisiana and Texas for a little while, and when we came here, I was just amazed that we were able to build relationships and kind of feel loved so fast. And so,
well, there's a heartbeat here that's different. There's a resilience in Chillicothe that's different. And even though, there's a lot like lying around the heartbeat that looks dead, there's still a heartbeat there. And I remember having this visual of Chillicothe being like the beacon, like the lighthouse, and like everything that's around it, Waverly, Portsmouth, everything around it is like catching the light from those outside spaces. And like, so that is, I feel like what's happening now is like the light is just getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and touching like everything on the outskirts. So I feel like that in itself kind of solidified it once we got here.
It's exciting to hear other people say the same thing that Mike and I feel like we talk about on our podcast every week.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that get us excited. And it's the whole reason why we started this podcast is that we could shine light on some amazing things that were happening that maybe people didn't know about. But the other thing is of trying to connect people.
Absolutely.
And so when you talked about, building relationships were so easy for you and you just felt loved immediately. That's why we have the pride we have about Chillicothe.
Yeah.
Well, it was 24 years ago yesterday that I moved to Chillicothe.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that until I was getting ready to do the annual meeting speech. And I happened to just think back, like, how long have I been here? And then it was like 24 years. And I was like, wait a minute, it was in July. Holy cow, it was the 13th of July. And so, like, I knew, I think it was last week that I was doing that. And I thought, man, and again, I thought I would spend 4 or 5 years here and then move on. I was a transient, like I was just with the wind. So, 24 years to me was a big deal. And
it's a huge deal.
And I love it here. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Absolutely.
I think you guys probably found that as well. Now,
yeah.
You're not at 24, but, nevertheless, in
No,
a couple years.
we've lived in a lot of houses, and I told her, I think just the other day, we were sitting in bed, and I said, I think this is the first time I've lived in a house where it feels like home. I've lived in houses, but it just always kind of felt like a temporary kind of season, a stop. But it's like, I want to own this house forever.
Yeah.
And I've never felt that way.
Yeah, we've never hung up pictures in any house until just now.
Wow.
And we literally did that like the week we moved in. We hung up
That's true.
pictures. We just knew, we knew that this was a permanent situation and that we were meant to like dig deep down here. And not just for us or our kids, but for generations to be rebuilt. And our faith is like huge for us. And like I was reading in Isaiah and it says like that your kids will rebuild ruins. And I was like, oh, that's happening now. Like my kids are here to rebuild the ruins of the city.
So take a minute to tell us about your family because I love your family. And I'm starting to find out things about your family, like how talented these people are. And I'm looking at my kids like, hey, what's up with you?
Step it up.
Pick up your game. Man.
Well, there's a lot of them.
Yes.
Well, I got a lot of them too, so I get it.
Yes, you do. Age-wise, from the bottom, we have Maisie, who's 10, Micaiah, who's 11, Melaine, who was the young Fiona, is 13, Josiah, who's 15, who is a budding tattoo artist. Mm-hmm. He's better than most of the people. Way older than him already at 15. And then Jaden is 18, just graduated, and is actually going to the recording workshop starting Monday.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So he
That's
is
awesome.
a bassist and audio production engineer.
So
yeah.
which of your kids is the rapper? That's the one that I've heard about.
Jaden and Josiah.
Yeah,
Okay, so they're
of them.
both doing it. Okay.
Yeah, Jaden is actually he's a singer too. I feel like he's better at singing. He's amazing.
He has very deep songs that when you listen to, you almost have to sit back and listen to it again to catch the nuances. Josiah is very talented. He can hear a song a couple times, memorize the whole thing, and regurgitate it.
He's a great writer too. They're both great writers.
Wow.
So we've got a lot of writers in the house.
Yeah.
Actually.
Our 13-year-old, she's already wrote a 200-page book. You know,
on
we're
our
waiting.
second one. It's wild in the Berry house.
Yeah.
Man, does anybody sleep in the Berry house? Holy, Marshall's the only one that sleeps, I bet.
5 minutes after the head hits the pedal.
Yeah.
So what was your process to open the stack? For the folks that are listening and you don't know what the stack is, the stack's a clothing store located in the Fort Collective, which is in downtown Chillicothe, and it's a great. I don't know that it's for me because I'm a little older, but for the trendy folks out there, it's folks, super awesome.
Come on down, yeah.
So,
honestly, I had no idea what's open in this thing. Honestly, like coming to Chillicothe has like stretched every ounce of my skin, like stretched me. So I do have a degree in design and merchandising. So I have over 20 years experience in design and fashion and all that. And but I still had no intention of opening a store. So I went to Africa in November after the year we moved here. And I just felt like it was something I was supposed to do. I didn't know if I was supposed to like open a ministry or I didn't know what we were supposed to do. I just knew it was something big that would affect a lot of people. And I just kept sitting on it and thinking about it. Well, I got this idea that I could open this store, and then with the store, I would have a program for youth and young adults to help them start their lives. And I just sat on it for like, I didn't tell him for like a month and a half. I just kind of
She hides a lot from me. I don't.
And I
hope this is not a theme.
Because this is the kind of person I am. I don't want to get you excited about something if it's not worth your emotion. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't want to take him on a roller coaster for no reason. So
and
appreciate that.
It feels a little more organic.
Yes.
I mean, like the decision about coming here
Absolutely.
ended up being completely organic, right?
Yes.
So,
and also that, like I want him to, if I'm going to bring him something, I want to already have made a decision about it. I don't want it to be floopy.
Well, and I am an emotional guy, but in decisions, I don't rush into things, you know. And so when it comes to things like that, we put some effort into thinking through the process.
So I had the idea. I sat on it for about a month, and then I was like, well, that's going to cost a lot of money. So I was like, well, I'm just going to prepare as if I have the money. So I did. I wrote the business plan. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I had all of the vendors lined up. I knew all of the things. I knew all of the costs per lease. I knew like everything. I had a place I was looking at. And I was going to coffee with someone. And I sat in the car for a minute and I was like, okay, God, I need divine like connections. Give me divine connections. Because first of all, we had only lived here for a couple months. I don't know nobody. Like it was like, I didn't know. So I said that prayer, got out the car, went and had coffee with her, met this lady. Didn't think anything of it. Get back in the car, go home, no big deal. 2 weeks later, come back to the fort. I'm like, all right, well, you know, going to have coffee again. I was like, if I'm meant to see this person again, let her be in here. I came in, I didn't see her, didn't think anything. I'm like, oh, that's fine, whatever. So I'm with that friend. I go back to a different part of the storefront, and there that woman is standing right there. And I'm like, oh, alert. Here's this woman standing here. And someone asked me about, I had told someone, I just felt like I was about to do something big, possibly opening a store. Well, she asked me about it, standing with this woman. And I just tell her, I'm just like, blah, word vomit. And I look over and she's crying. And I'm like, oh, Lord, what is going on? And y'all, this is a Thursday. By Tuesday, I was fully funded, had a spot.
Wow.
Done. And like, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it was ridiculous, honestly.
Wow.
And I was telling somebody today, I'm like, sometimes you just got to have stupid faith and it can't make sense to you, or it's not.
Yeah.
if it ain't big and it's out of your reach, then it's probably not big enough.
It's in Habakkuk, I think, where he says, "I'm not going to reveal my plans to you because if I did,
right.
you'd just be blown away, right?"
Yes.
Like
It's absolutely.
sometimes
You couldn't handle it.
handle
So
it.
you just gotta, and I've like lived that thing. I feel like I've done that so many times now that it's just kind of like second nature. I'm just like, if it's big, then let's do it.
And we're willing to put one foot
We're
in front of
willing
the
to
other.
just,
Yeah.
Whether
mean-
it seems scary or not, I
Yeah.
think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make is planting your feet and waiting for it to come. You put one foot out there and it'll work itself out
Yeah.
or it won't.
Because if you don't plan for it as if it's not, if it's as if it's happening already, then you'll talk yourself down so far that it won't even matter to you anymore. So I literally was like, well, I got a business plan. We're going to do this thing. And I knew it was going to happen regardless of how it played out. I had concrete, like I knew it was going to happen and I knew that's what I was doing. And I'm very like stubborn when it comes to what I want to do. And I know I'm supposed to do something. It's going to get done.
Yeah,
That's a true
my
story.
mother-in-law. I like that.
It's getting done.
So my mother-in-law, when Kelsey and I were engaged, we were about to get married. We were talking about where are we gonna live. I was a little reticent to buy a house, and I said, I just want to wait. And she said, look, if you wait to do everything, you'll never do anything.
Absolutely.
And
That's so
and it
good.
felt right. And I mean, I didn't feel ready to have kids, and we had kids, and then next thing you know, I got 3 of them with
Yeah.
her, 5 of them total, and you're like, well, all right, I guess I'm doing
right,
all
yeah.
this now, right? Like, I mean, so I just respect that so much that you're able to just, you know what? I don't know where this wind is taking me, but I'm going with
So
it.
let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's a great tribute, I think, to your faith and to your resolve to try to do the right thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that for the longest time, things like that would happen to me, and I would, in my head, say, I willed that to happen. And now that I've gotten older, I realize that there's something else working, and it had nothing to do with,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
my will or like my plan or anything.
Yeah.
And that it's just amazing when you see things work out like that. It's
Absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah.
And it's great to hear that.
So then you talked about Life Ready earlier, but that was just a thing that you said, this was a thing that I felt like I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Well, now you're doing it.
Yeah.
So talk about Life Ready and what you're
Life
trying to
Ready
achieve there.
It's crazy when you say yes to something, like all of a sudden it's like this ripple effect. It's like you put that, pebble in the river and then all of a sudden like, ooh, everyone is like in the river now. I planned Life Ready. Actually, that was the first part of the storefront that I honed in on. And then I did everything else. Life Ready is from front to back, career development into habit forming. So everybody goes through the reverse class. The very first class is reverse class. We talk about reversing your thinking, reversing bad habits, reversing, generational things that you've believed that are lies that you need to replace that with truth. That's the very first thing we do because I feel like if you don't know where you are, then you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So that's the first thing we do. We have that reverse class. We make them reflect on things that they've believed. We make them reflect on, parental things that they've heard, just things from the community that they've believed, all of it. We talk about that whole thing, and then we make them go home and reflect on all of that stuff. And then we feel like they're ready to come back and talk about moving forward. Because a lot of times the biggest hindrance is the things that you've believed about yourself. And so we want to kind of crush that.
Did you find when you first started doing this, the first class, that especially this period of about 6 or 7 years that we lived before you got here? I mean, we referenced it earlier where, we were the place where women went to die. We were the place that, had a drug problem and couldn't get out of it. Did you find that there was a lot of that you had to reverse about where we live and who you are?
Yeah, I really feel like a lot of the youth struggle with getting from under the thumb of their parents' past, or even from under the thumb of parental expectation,
The word the Lord gave me was identity crisis.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
You know, so many people are or have been told that they are something or shown that they are something, and so they're so lost. And this is a way to be able to break that all down, rebuild a foundation that they can be catapulted from.
Right. One of the main things that we get from a lot of the participants is that they'll never be ...
Right.
That's a huge one. And I didn't realize like how true that is until, you know, you write it on the paper just thinking, oh, this is, you know, something we should probably address. And then you hear feedback and it's, you know, you can't escape that box if that's what you believe. I'll never be more than ... And then so you're stuck in that box. And then later on in life, then you're like, oh, I could have been something else. And then what happens later in life is that then you feel like it's too late.
Yeah.
So then you become
it's a big stronghold to overcome.
huge.
Yeah. A big one.
Huge.
Especially
stronghold.
sometimes when it's, well, number one, when it's your own past, right? It's really hard to get over. But I think even beyond that, if it's the sins of the father or the sins of the mother or whoever, boy, that can really take a long,
especially here where we
long time to
have
get over.
3 generations in a row of addicts. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you're trying to recover not only, you know, what their mom has done, but also what grandma has done and the things that have been spoken over these kids for years and years and generation after generation. And they're not only having to just eliminate the lies that they believe, but like retrain their mind that they shouldn't have never believed that thing in the first place. That is really hard. And I actually had John Gabbis from Adina reach out to me because he's like, yeah, this is heavy stuff. So we're going to try and see if we can get some mental health help to transitional with these kids and young adults, because that's a hard pill to swallow if you come from a family of 3 generations of addicts and then you're trying to do something new, you know, quote unquote new, that really isn't new, but you just don't know anything about it having success. And you almost, and even we've talked to them about like, and I feel like we need to talk about this more, but success guilt and feeling like being guilty for being the one that made it out. Growing up in Oakland, a lot of people have that like success guilt and they feel like they must come back and make it right and all these different things. And that's not a burden that we're meant to carry.
Yeah. Well, and a poverty mindset too. You know, this is one thing that I fell victim to. This is all we will only be this good. Yeah. I will only amount to this.
Right.
Yeah. And I had actually a pastor rebuke me of it years ago. And I'd only buy these used cars. I could buy cash, and I do, you know, just things to make it through. And a great mentor of mine, his name's Hank Hennigan. He handed me a book, The Magic of Thinking Big, and I already started to get out of it. But there's such great things in there where, you know, if we're able to see and think great of ourselves, we can do greater. You know, if we're stuck in this plateaued, low mindset, then you stay there and you are most likely to pull others in with you.
Right.
And it's so much greater to be able to go, no, not only can I do great things, you could do great things too, and we'll link arms and do them together.
That's the main, because our focus in Life Ready is to create a reproductive environment. So we want to make sure that the kids are consuming, but that they're also coming back and engaging in conversation with new people and helping other people see that yes, I've been through this. Now you can go through it too, and we can all be successful in that kind of mindset as opposed to a consumer, because we're we are Americans. Yeah. So we like consuming.
And you've done how many?
We're on our third round. We'll be going into our third one. Yeah. And we've had great feedback. We've had, it's interesting to see the different dynamics between the age groups, because the first one we had older kids, young adults. And then the second round we had high schoolers, which actually the high schoolers were engaged more on the intellectual level, but were affected more by the generational thing than the older ones were.
You just did the thing that old people do when you say kids about
I
anybody
know.
younger than you.
They're kids.
It happens
They're
a
all
lot more
kids.
for us than it does for you,
Yeah.
but I would say that
Yep.
For
I'm
sure.
going to have to break that stronghold for you, okay?
It's fine. I'll keep
yeah.
going. But yeah, it's really interesting. But I've learned so much about Chillicothe too, like about though those things are present, there is a desire for more. Just people just don't know how. And they just need someone to be like, oh, look, I'm lighting the fire here.
Yeah.
So follow the light over here.
Well, and to believe in them.
And to believe in them.
They need some more.
And to just say
100%.
go.
Yes.
And it's weird because so many people have come into the stack. Just they'll say, oh, I've always wanted to. And I'm like, then just do it.
Yeah.
And their eyes get huge and they're like, what do you mean just do it? I'm like, then just do it. Here's the LLC spot that you need to go to get your business started. This is the website for this. And people literally just don't realize that it's at their disposal.
Yeah. Well, and what I think is really great about, and this is a huge change from 15 years ago, there is a whole group of people that are willing to walk alongside you and say, oh, you've got a dream? Let's talk about the dream.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't just stop there. It goes to, well, you need a space for your dream.
Yeah.
And this person, or this group of people has this building that you probably will want to take a look at.
Yeah.
And I think that's how downtown went from 15 years ago being a place where the vacant storefronts rivaled the number of businesses
Right.
to being a place where now you have to shoehorn in
Absolutely.
places, you know?
That's so true because when you come from a mindset of lack and disparity, everything is different for you. Everything is different. But if you come from a place of knowing we're all going to eat, everybody's going to eat.
Well, and we watched people show up when the Shanks opened their business, High Five Bakery. Other businesses would come and notice they had something short or something didn't come in, and they'd bring stuff from their stores to help. And it's like, what is going on
who does
here?
that, right?
Yeah.
You know, who does it could be looked at as a competitor, yet they're there helping to lift one another up, not to step on them to lift themselves.
Well, it's a really weird dynamic that we've got as humans. Like and it is at some stages survival of the fittest, but it's like we're not put on this earth individually. Like we're together.
Yep.
So it's gonna take together to get us where we gotta go. But we have pushed. There's so much selfish agenda going on behind the scenes that people feel like there's lack. So I can't help my brother or my sister or my neighbor so they don't. But when someone comes in and says, yes, but we can, because I am, then it changes the trajectory for everyone.
Yeah.
So that is the heartbeat of Chillicothe. Like
Absolutely.
reaching out beyond yourself, I think is and that's the heart of the Life Ready program is reaching out beyond yourself. Like, yes, you're consuming here, but who can you feed?
Yeah. Do you feel like 2020 brought that even more to the surface and allowed people to really shine?
Yeah.
In your mind?
Yeah. Both, I'd say. I feel like it revealed a lot of things that we don't like, but it also revealed a lot of things that we needed.
Yeah.
And, 2020 and people say, oh, it's supposed to be like the best year ever. And I'm like, no, baby, it did exactly what it's supposed to do. 2020 vision. You see exactly what you needed to see.
True.
Yeah.
Everything became clear. And, if you saw it and didn't do something with it, then you missed out. And I feel like 2020 did just that. Like it revealed the heart of Chillicothe, and we survived and we were resilient.
Thrived, yeah.
Yeah, we thrived. And I think it pushed us into 2021 with new eyes, and it's really made generationally, it's made people come alive to say, this isn't the end. I'm not done. There's more that can be done, and I'm going to be the one to do the more that can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our earlier podcasts was about being called to community. And you mentioned that, and what you just said it. And Mike and I have talked a lot about being called to this community and to live as a community and how important that is just for everyone's success. So when, like Marshall, you're talking about, like businesses jumping in and saying, hey, here's something you need. And maybe we do compete, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if one is having success, we can all have success.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of the beauty of that. It's
Well, and I think, the community is a calling thing. I think if I wanted to leave now, I don't think God would let me leave.
Oh no, I don't.
Right.
I don't think he would.
I just don't. I feel like he's got me here for a reason, He's put me here, and he's keeping me here to try and do, like you mentioned, I got all these years left.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with them? I can't just keep them for myself. I was an only child growing up, so I have every reason to be selfish.
Yeah.
But he's really, I think he's shown me here, it's got to be bigger than you. You know,
Absolutely.
Kids do that to you
Yeah,
too, right?
they do.
Like,
Yeah. God
it
help us.
can't always be about you when you got kids. So,
Never is about you when you got kids. I think it's really great too because, and we talked about this a little bit, Mike, at the meeting the other day about doing something different in order to see different. And I love challenging people, and sometimes I'll be in conversation with people and I know they're like cringing inside because I'm saying, yeah, that ain't gonna work. You need to change what you're doing. You need to change how you're thinking. But I love that because if people aren't challenging you to change your thinking, you're never going to do anything worth anything.
Yeah.
And you have to think differently and see differently in order to have better. And literally Chillicothe has, the amount of people that have been drawn here from everywhere is insane, and it's going to force those who have had a closed mind or a stale mind or a stagnancy to see differently. So either they'll shut themselves in their houses or they'll come out and see what's happening.
Yeah. My hope is that the thing that endures from 2020 is, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Because when you have to shut down your store, no one can come in and no one can come out. You got to think of a different way to do business. If you're in the hospitality industry and you can't have people in your rooms and you can't have people at your restaurant or your bar, you got to think of things differently. And I hope we don't lose that because now
we're back.
Yeah,
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote, we're back, or things are like they were in 19.
Yeah.
We still need to be creative. We still need to innovate. We still need to try to think of other ways to do things.
Yeah.
And I just hope we don't lose that aspect of it.
I totally get that too, because I was having a conversation with someone actually this morning, and they were saying about they just wanted to go back to how it was, and I said you need to be careful with that. Back is not for emotion.
Yeah.
You can't go back to anything, or you're not growing. You're literally just standing still because you can't go back. And I could see the wheels turning, back is not forward motion.
Yeah.
You can't go back. You grow, you become something new, and then you do new. But I think that is a trap. Like the comfort of going back is what traps us in the stagnancy of yesterday.
Yeah.
Comfort is a killer of dreams.
Oh yeah.
If you have a dream but you're doing okay, a lot of times that's all it'll ever be is a dream.
And someday, at some point in time, then you wake up and you go, "Is this all there is?"
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, geez, I could have
Never mind.
done that thing."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
that's a
freaks
good
me
word.
out.
I think that's great.
The thought of that I could have, the thought of just every day I get up with I'm going to, there's not going to be no I could have. I am going to.
So I'm curious about something because I know how my parents influenced my thinking. Did you grow up in households that said,
Oh no.
Hey, pursue this? I say this to my kids all the time. Like, I literally do not care what you do with your life other than I want you to try and fail sometimes.
Yeah.
I know my son who's 10, I know he thinks I'm nuts. But
that means
it
you're
really
doing it
is
right.
a thing.
Yeah.
I want them to try the stuff that they want.
Yeah.
What was your thought process there?
For me, my parents were very let's be stable. Let's have stable jobs. Let's work at the same place for 30 years and then retire. They were very more about stability and less about the dream. And I probably freaked my mom out when I said, "Hey, I want to be a fashion designer." But she paid for it. She's like, "All right, fine. You're going to be a fashion designer." But she knew, just like my husband knows, once I make a decision to do something, baby, it's getting done.
Yeah.
And it's getting done now. I don't wait. And so I left high school 3 weeks after high school was done and went straight to college. I did not play around. but also watching them not live their dreams it lit a fire in me. Like, I'm never going to do that. Like, I'm going to make sure that I touch every area of every dream, whether it wins or fails, or I didn't care. I was just like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can. And he can attest
Absolutely.
that I have done everything that I possibly could in every area of my life. I mean, even I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, and I was like, so I can still do things. So I was like, let's make up jobs. Let's do everything. Let's be a stylist. Let's be a closet designer. Let's like everything. I would do everything. So I think that
probably comes in handy, because if you ever need something at home, she's probably had the job, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Bins and bins of stuff.
Yeah, bins and bins of stuff. I feel like that lit a fire in me. With most people, it does the opposite effect. And I was also having this conversation with someone earlier today too. Like, I feel like there's just something in me, and I just thank God for it, because there's something in me that watches other people live, and no, that's not gonna. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I like refuse, like a good rebellion, but I just refuse to do things that way. Doesn't have to be done that way. And somewhere along the lines, like, we believe has to be done this way, has to be done that way. When that's not true. You can have the results you want and not do it the same way that everybody's done.
And
I
think you lost your father.
My dad died when I was 7, almost 8. And my mom, I think we just went into survival mode. You know, I'm the baby. I used to say I'm the baby of 9. I found out I'm the baby of 11 that we know of. Dad was out there a little bit, you know. But she just wanted to make sure that we were fed and had a house. But it was like, I remember she'd go, "Hey, did you do your homework?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And that was the end of it. And I don't fault her for that, because we were kind of rough kids, you know, and she did her best. There's no qualms about it. Matter of fact, when I had the issues that I had, she'd cry and be like, "I'm sorry you had to go through that." And I said, "Mom, I'm the man I am today because I failed. I fell down. I made mistakes, but I was driven. You know, I liked things, and so my first job was 13 years old. You know, I'm delivering papers, and this was in California where it's up hills, and you know, but I was always driven, and she did show me a great work ethic. You know, she never gave up. She went to night school, worked odd jobs until she was able to graduate and do something. So she gave me a great work ethic. But I'm same as Jade. I'm a dreamer. You know, there's never a time where I'm at a point where I'm just like, "Yep, this is good enough. I'm going to kick back and ride this on out." I'm constantly looking to go, there's better ways to do things. My biggest motto, my kids hear it all the time: smarter, not harder. You know, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You know, these are things that I constantly try to live to, so that, one, we're not being a lazy example to our children, but two, I just know there's greater things out there, and we're just so ambitious. You know, we desire to see this world, we desire to see the people around us succeed,
and we desire to be good stewards of the time that we have.
Absolutely.
You know, there's so much responsibility to do what you have, and I think somewhere along the line that got lost, you know, in society, that, you know, you do what you want instead of doing what matters. And, you know, we want our kids to see us do also what we want, but what we want to do matter to not just us, but to other people, and that other people can eat off of what we're doing, and not just us. We're not just constantly feeding our own face. So so our parents I feel like our parents played a great part in the things that they instilled in us, like working hard. And I've never seen any of my parents. My dad struggled with addiction. He still worked every single day. I don't know how he did that, driving the city bus, but okay. But he never missed a day of work. Retired from a job he worked for 30 years. And my mom still works. So we really did get like that hard work drive ethic from them. But the dreamer portion, I feel like, was from watching and knowing what not to do.
Yeah. It's the biggest way that I learned the things.
And just
not
wanting
to do.
more and just wanting to make an impact in ways that we can't do if we do things like we always knew.
It's really cool that was sort of inherent in your personality and just needed to be manifested,
Yeah.
right? Because there's so many people that they see all that going on and they just like, I'll just be part of the chaos because it's just the easy thing to do.
Just easier. Yep.
That's true.
And, I think everybody has to go on their own pace and on their own way. Some people learn easy, some people learn hard. Like, I get that. But, I think the work that you're doing is really helping people. And it's not something we're going to see next week, right?
Yeah.
Like that, the fruits of that labor don't happen. The harvest is down
it's
the
out
road,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When somebody owns a business of their own, or even if they're just, and this is an underrated skill, but it's like, even if they're just a worker in a really successful business and they work really, really hard to maintain that business for somebody else, that is a super valuable thing.
Yeah. And honestly, passing on a proper mindset is beyond valuable. If nothing else comes out of the things that we're doing, is that we help people gain proper perspective, because everything that we do is a result of our perspective. And if we have the wrong perspective, then we won't nail it. We won't get it right. And so literally just the perspective point of view, point of contact is like so important. So important.
So are there things rattling around in your head now that are going to manifest themselves here soon?
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Absolutely.
sure.
I can't imagine that you're.
I'm always. I'm actually thinking on my third book right now. That's kind of what I'm rattling around with right now. And
She's about to finish realtor school.
I
so
finished
she'll be,
real estate school. I did real estate school. I'm just waiting to do my test because I have no other thing to do.
Yeah. She's bored,
Crazy person.
well, that extra minute every week will.
Yeah.
All right.
That's funny.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. But I felt another thing I just felt called to do. Like, I was driving the kids to school and I'm like, I really feel like I'm supposed to go to real estate school.
Like everybody thinks.
Everybody. And then I get to coffee with a friend. I don't know what it is about this coffee. What is with this coffee? I get to coffee with a friend. She's like, I feel like I need to ask you, what kind of dreams do you got going on
Jade,
right
what
now?
exactly are you putting in that coffee?
Dude, I don't know. I'm like, what is this? Then in walks someone. Hey, are you thinking about real estate school? What is happening?
Yeah.
Like, it's
No, I can see that.
It's the most insane thing ever.
I can see that.
So, so that's one of the things I'm doing right now. We just kind of, I feel like we're just trying to get in like every area of influence.
We're
right
Renaissance
now.
people.
That, I just feel like that's an area where you can influence people and love on people, and
I can attest to that through
you
Kelsey,
can do
of
that.
course, 'cause
Yeah,
I think
you can. And I've
she's
seen
been used
it.
in that way.
You can. And I've seen people start businesses just from coming into the stack and being like, this is so great. You talked to me last week. Now I have my LLC. Now I have I've seen it so many times. It's like unbelievable. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, I'm literally just sharing the knowledge that I have.
Yeah.
And it's that simple, but we have to not be stingy with the knowledge that we have. And you have to just be like, hey, I love you because you're in my community and I'm going to help you get to where you got to go. It's so simple, but we complicate things because, that's what we do.
Our community is in such need of encouragers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes we are called to be that, right?
Absolutely.
So when you have that moment where you have, a moment to like breathe into that person's life and encourage them to get them, like for Mike and I, it was like just hit the record button, like for this podcast. It's like we talked about it for a long time, and then
And we didn't have any time either.
Yeah.
So we get it.
We totally understand about that, and then as a dad, for me, I've always wanted my kids to see that I still have dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And like that's always been like my example. Like when I jumped into theater for the first time at a late age, and somebody asked me after, like, what did you get out of this? I'm like, I just wanted my kids to see that, like, I'm almost 50 years old and I still have dreams.
I can do things.
Yeah. And I want them to continue to dream. And that encouragement is so important for
so
people in our
important.
community. Yeah.
It's so important.
And that's how, that's how stores like the Stack open, right? Is somebody probably did that for you at some point in your life and made you, not be afraid to dream.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think I
I think for some reason people are almost scared sometimes to like encourage other people, and I don't understand that.
They don't want to be
that
wrong.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to. We get fearful about so many things, and fear like holds us back from so many things. Talking to someone, stopping someone, or even just saying like, "Hey, I think that might be a bad idea." But I feel like literally we have all these seeds like stored up in us, and it's as simple as, "Girl, you're doing a good job," to keep somebody going to do what they have to do. And encouragement is literally like so important just in like regular conversation. You just have no idea the seeds you're planting in people, or the seeds you're watering.
Yeah, I
people.
think, that fear is sometimes a mistrust of your own experience.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that was just unique to me, so sharing it with them seems, maybe I'm leading them the wrong way. I think you got to trust your gut in that situation. It's like draw on your own experience and say, look, I moved here from Louisiana for no good reason, and tell that story and let it breathe life into somebody. And you know what? I think, honestly, if it's not meant for them, you'll breathe it into them, and then it'll just roll right off. So
that's so good.
I think, what's the only thing you're really out is the moment.
Yeah.
So why not spend the moment trying to do something to help, light a flame?
That's so true. People ask me all the time, like, "Oh, you know everyone." I'm like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
Well, I just act like I know everyone so that they feel loved when they come into the atmosphere. Like, it's really that simple. Because someone's like, you're such a good hugger. I'm like, I might be the only hug you get that day. Like, it's that simple. With the same with encouragement. You might be that one. They may be going home by themselves every night without a word coming from anyone.
Or
you
into a
might be the
toxic home.
one word of encouragement to them that month. Like, you just don't know. And, we have to get to that place where we realize that today's not promised, and neither is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it might not be for that other person either. And with our suicide rates at astronomical rates, like,
and our overdose rates back up again too.
Astronomical. We have to love on people and encourage people. And the heart of community is the one another mindset.
Yeah.
Each other mindset. That's the only way that we're going to maximize what we have here and extended,
Yeah. Well, number one, you guys are like my encouragement champions of the day.
Yes,
I'm going to put this when we release this, I'm going to put it on repeat in my car just so I can feel energized and beautiful again.
That's right.
And I need to feel beautiful. So
and replay it every couple weeks when you start forgetting that.
I am so glad that I was desperate enough to call Bright Solutions and meet Marshall. So I told this story the other day too. So at the lighting ceremony in 2019, I come down from the stage. We've lit everything up. It's beautiful. People are milling about, having a good time, and I feel these large arms wrap around me. And I thought somebody didn't like what happened, and it was Marshall giving me a big hug. I want you to meet my wife. And so that's when I met Jade, and then Casey came up and gave me a big hug. It was like it's like having brothers. I never had brothers, so like. That was just, I think in that period of time, everything was new to me, and I was just so excited to be what I was being. And then you guys just came along and made it even better. So keep doing what you're doing, because it's
appreciate
working.
that.
Yeah.
And
thanks, guys.
Man,
thanks for
thank
having
you
us.
for
been
the way you
fantastic.
kind of transform things, and keep breathing that into people. I think it's such a great skill.
It's important.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
You've been listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty
a
Ford.
little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like